John F. Kennedy was born on May 29, 1917 in the state of Massachusetts. He started his life going to grammar school and high school. He later studied at Harvard College. After college, he then enrolled in the Army. The Army would not take him, though, because he was medically unfit to serve. Because he was turned down, he served in the United States Navy from 1941 till 1945. In 1946, he continued his career serving for America by involving himself in politics and won a seat in the House of Representatives. After 6 years as a congressman, he ran for a Senate seat and won in the 1952 election. The next year, he married his fiancée, Jacqueline Bouvier. Kennedy, after 8 years in the Senate, announced his campaign to run for president in the 1960 presidential election. In September and October of 1960, Kennedy appeared on the first ever televised debate in history against his opponent, Richard Nixon.
I think it will depend in great measure upon what we do here in the United States, that we build, on the kind of strength that we maintain. We discussed tonight domestic issues, but I would not want that to be any implication to be given that this does not involve directly our struggle with Mr. Khrushchev for survival.
After the debates and campaign, Kennedy won the election and became the 35th President of the United States. On January 20th, 1961, Kennedy gave his inaugural address.
We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning, signifying renewal as well as change. For I have sworn before you and Almighty God the same solemn oath our forebears prescribed nearly a century and 3/4 ago.
After his inauguration, Kennedy worked strongly on his foreign policy because of the tension that the United States had with the Soviet Union. Kennedy had to deal with communism, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and Southeast Asia. On September 12, 1962, Kennedy made a speech about the space program at Rice University.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
This speech marked the first step of the race to the moon against the Soviet Union. Only a year later, on November 22, 1963, Kennedy was in Dallas, Texas to meet with the liberals and the conservatives of the Democratic Party. At 12:30 in the afternoon, as President Kennedy was driving through the town, he was shot not once, but multiple times. The first shot fired hit his upper back, and the final shot fired struck him in the head.
These details about the same as previously. President Kennedy shot today just as his motorcade left downtown Dallas. Mrs. Kennedy jumped up and grabbed Mr. Kennedy. She called, "Oh no," the motorcade sped on. United Press says that the wounds for President Kennedy perhaps could be fatal.
Kennedy was taken to Parkland Hospital for emergency treatment of his injuries. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, President John F. Kennedy was pronounced dead at the age of 46. Kennedy passed away at a much younger age than any other president in the history of the United States.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
John F. Kennedy was one of the youngest presidents in the United States, but he had the most heart. He battled through crisis and lived through the celebrations. John F. Kennedy made strides while he was in office that changed the country and changed the history of the United States today.